Lots and lots. Hey, everybody, I'm Marla Schultz.
Oh, it's your girl, Jenn Letterer. We are Ageless Adventures, adventuring agelessly.
Either good adventures, bad adventures, but it's always interesting to see where we wind up.
Activating as always. Okay, so we talk about being ageless. We talk about being different ages all the time. This week, you're how old?
This week, I don't know what age a tailspin and panic attack looks like. So I'm going to say, from that point of view, my 40. How about you?
Do 40-year-olds often, is that because of it's known as like the midlife crisis or what? Why 40?
I think it's perio midlife crisis at 40, because I had a really, really scary, like, grand mal panic attack, and I was definitely skittering on the top of on that. And so that's what it brought me back to. But I got out of it because I'm fucking here. How about you?
Well, what about, how old were you during the thing that brought you back that you just showed me? Like what age does that memory bring you back to?
That brings me back just to, I would say, adolescence to.
Wait, show our viewers, because they.
Oh, duh. Okay. I'm a Long Island girl. I grew up on the beach, and there's nothing like sitting on the beach late afternoon and, being happy, going to happy hour, just chilling with friends and catching a sunset. That to me is like, that's what centers me. And yesterday was one of the worst days I've had, and get to the beach, the humidity left, and I found this shell. And this is called a jingle shell. But as a kid, we used to collect these, and we called them grandma's toenails. And we'd bring 10 of them back, and, as if they were lead press-on nails. And we would kind of try and stick them onto our toenails. And I saw this, and it made me laugh. And as you know, laughter is the best medicine. And it flipped the switch. And here I am.
There you go. So you were 40s and teenage all in one day.
Yeah.
Week.
A 40-ager. How about that? Instead of a teenager, a 40-ager.
Perfect. That's exactly it.
How about you?
This week okay. When I try and look at everything that's going on, it's really, we got to take it in bits and pieces. So
sure.
Today, something that one of my friends posted brings me back to my 22-year-old self, who got the job at Ellen's Stardust Diner. It was my first job in New York City. If you go to episode 9 of season 1 of Ageless Adventures on our YouTube, you will see us in front of it next to Caroline's Comedy Club, because Marla and I were paralleled back then without knowing it. Admittedly not my favorite place, but it was an important place because it was my first job. It's where I got comfortable singing in front of people. It's where I got to be Kit from A League of Their Own, because I got to make up my own name wearing my little poodle skirt, which was terrible. But anyway,
I'm sure it looked fabulous.
Listen, your girl made it work. Here is what is posted on Ellen's Stardust Diner's door right now. They're on 51st and Broadway. Please take notice that you're indebted to the landlord in the sum of $618,459.22 for the rent due on or before August 7th, or surrender possession of the premises.
Oh, bummer.
So I'm just, connecting to that part of myself that got to move to New York. I joke with my friend Emily that we moved here on the wings of love, because we had
That's funny.
No plan. I had a dance degree, whatever that was worth. So we really were just able to move here and figure it out. And that is not an option for people right now.
No.
And that, like, just thinking about the in-betweens for artists, we thrive from the in-between opportunities, those things that keep you afloat in between the gigs.
Sure.
And there's no in-betweens right now. So it's we're definitely in the death process of whatever paradigm we're moving out of. There's a ton of loss. Again, Ellen's, there was a full class action lawsuit with a lot of the people that I worked with who were there for years. It was found out that management stole like $500,000 worth of yeah.
Oh, that's
right.
No bueno.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like there's a lot of just the underbelly is coming up, and not everyone, I'm not going to say they quote deserve it, right? This is terrible for everybody. But anyway, it's just interesting to see all of these things that are kind of falling away, and just thinking about all the young artists that were either thinking of moving to New York this summer. I mean, it was August 2007, so almost exactly, to the date that I would move here and get that job by walking in and talking the owner into hiring me with zero experience waiting tables.
That's our girl.
That's the girl. They were like, yeah, we don't hire unless you've had minimum 6-month experience waiting tables in New York. And I was like, got it. When does the owner come? I'll be talking to him.
That's awesome. And last week I said, you asked me what was some of the best advice you got, or maybe it was, a couple of weeks ago. And I said, if a door closes, you can always run around the house and get in in an open window. So, good for you.
Thank you. Yeah. So I wasn't the favorite of the workers there, I have to be honest, because none of them could figure out how I got there. And that's kind of the story of my life.
But you know what? People are scared by somebody who really, values themselves, likes themselves, and, has balls and is not afraid.
Yeah. And I won all of them over. Eventually they were like, nah, she's cool. I'm like,
and
I'm not stealing your tips. Who are you really mad at? It's the question.
Customers.
Right? Customers. Or management. It's not me. It's not me. I promise you, I'm not the one that you're mad at right now. So anyway, I'm feeling for the younger artists trying to figure out WTF to do right now. And the older artists, all of us, just kind of like, what are we performing in drive-ins now?
Yeah. Right. It's like, on Long Island, you can fudgy wudgy bars, Italian ices, walking around a hot drive-in movie theater, sweating and inhaling exhaust because everybody has their cars running for the AC.
I think I'm just going to stand on a corner and start doing crowd work.
Well, you know what? It truly is the best experience that you can get. It's the comedy version of doing sales.
Well, you know that I sold comedy tickets on the street before as one of my jobs as well.
I forgot that.
Yeah. So I know all about sharpening the sales teeth through guerrilla sales on the streets of New York.
That you do. And I want to thank you because you probably were the reason that all the comedy clubs were filled.
I was the reason. The comic strip, at least. I'll take a little bit of responsibility.
My home club. My home club. And I really appreciate that.
Yes. So shout out all artists. I know times are tough right now. Ooh. And that's just one of the roads, right? That's just the one road I was looking down today, not to mention all of the other millions of roads that seem to be on fire at the moment. Things are being rebuilt. A bit of a phoenix rising, I believe. At least
hopefully. Hopefully. And just a FYI, the I-95 heading north to the Connecticut shores, it was, a disaster
Of course.
yesterday. Everything is
Torn up.
upside down. Yeah.
Because they're working on it, or because it just constantly
accident, 3 accidents, and yes, they were working on it. Apparently, they're trying to finally make it into 3 lanes, 4 lanes.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite the undertaking.
You think? By the way, the internet connection is so crappy here. I have been trying to share this and let the masses know that we're live, and I must have clicked it 100 times, so I can't even share it to my page. FYI.
Do it after.
Okay.
Do it.
I will do it after. So, there's a lot of fun things to cover. And folks, I hope, as you know, we have been chronicling our favorite show called Dead to Me, starring Christina Applegate, Linda, thinking on her name, Linda Cardellini, written by, thank you so much, Jenn, Safety Net, and written by the incredibly talented comedian writer Liz Feldman. And this week, the episode is called I Can Handle It, and it's season 1, episode 7. And essentially, the shite hits the fan big time. Mm-hmm. And it's a real, exploration on what people do to keep it all in, not ask for help. And when things get really tough, it takes one little thing that will just rip the Band-Aid off and you just completely fall apart. Mm-hmm. And tell me, how did this episode resonate with you?
So am I a Judy or a Jenn?
Thank you for that. Yes. Are you a Judy or a Jenn?
I resonated with Judy because of 2 main pieces. One thing that is Steve, right? Her boyfriend.
Yeah.
In a fight goes, he said something like, oh, what? This doesn't make sense, but you're aligned with the moon. Like you're influenced by the moon. And I was like, and the way that she looked at him, like, of course I am.
Yes.
I am so for that. I think that we are more influenced by the moon than we think, especially women, but all of us, because we're mainly water, and water is affected by the moon. And to prove it to all of you naysayers out there, I will say that my cycle just started a week early. No warning. No PMS symptoms whatsoever this month, a week early, out of nowhere, other than it's the new moon, and it's the new moon in Cancer, the Cancer sign, and I am a Cancer moon. I'm a Sagittarius sun. So the sign that you know of, that most people know, that's your sun sign, which represents kind of more of your masculine energy. And it's usually the energy that you present to the world. So my Sagittarius energy is the fire, the confidence, the go-getter. And then the Cancer moon is the feminine side of me, the side of me that you get to know more once I kind of let you in. And that's the side of me that's nurturing, that wants to, like, the homebody, that wants to nest and make people comfortable and stuff like that. So am I influenced by the moon? 100%. So I really resonated with that. And then she has another storyline where her and Steve went on vacation.
Yes.
And Steve comes to find out he took one of the sacred rocks from an area that you just were not supposed to take anything. There were signs. It was like, do not do this. People that do it end up having bad luck for the rest of their life. And these 2 people are now in the process of bringing car parts to Mexico to cover up a hit and run murder. And Judy is sitting there like, whoa, you took one of the, what are you talking? And he was like, don't worry about it. It didn't affect anything. So I am, I don't know that I'm I am totally superstitious. Like if you tell me if I stand in the corner and your team will win, if I want your team to win, I will go stand in that corner. I'll be like, you know what? How do I know that that's not true?
Wow.
I'll go
That's
stand
cool.
in the corner. That's fine. If I care, but if I don't want your team to win, then I'll go sit in the opposing corner.
And because you're Glinda the Good Witch, all of a sudden the other team will win because I don't know. I think you have some sort of contract with the moon goddess, Mooniotis.
I think so too. And I had a stuffed toy Moon named Mooney when I was little, and I lost him, and I had a mental breakdown. I lost him on vacation in one of the hotels. I'm pretty sure, I don't think we like circled back to the hotel after we left, but I think my dad had to call. I mean, Jenn was not okay. They were unsure if I was going to make it the rest of the vacation.
That wasn't one of the reasons they threw you into rehab, or were you too young for that?
I was just under of that moment, but that should have been a red flag if I'm being honest.
Absolutely.
Right. This girl is giving her power away to stuffed moons. We should look into that.
My folks, I had a pillow called Huggy. It was Head and Huggy ever since I was a kid. And I mean, it was this, practically all the feathers from a down pillow. I used to hug it, one head, the other Huggy. You can see where, the name came from. Anyway, my mother just randomly took the Head and Huggy off my bed. And I was embarrassingly 12. I was 12 years old. I slept over a friend's house and I was like, where's Head and Huggy? And I had a mental fit. And my mother's like, we left it on the boat. And the thought of them taking Head and Huggy and not letting me know the effects probably contributed to my anxiety and depression, what do you call it? Illness.
I had stuffed animals on my bed through college. So no judgment there. And one of my favorite stuffed animals was a duck that I named DUCK. And
don't be a hunt. Go ahead.
Right. And I told my friend Monica, for some reason, I guess my friends know me well enough that they should ask the name of the stuffed animal on my bed because they know it'll have one. And I answered, I said, it's DUCK. And she goes, how do you spell that?
Oh, that is hilarious.
And I was like, we're going to be friends for so long. But wait, this is funny that we're talking about all of these stuffed animals because I also thought of them this week, seeing all of the sports teams playing in front of these cardboard cutout fans. I'm like, oh my God, those were my first audiences too. Mooney and Barry and Whaley and like all of
Whaley.
Oh yeah, anything. It's just what it was with an E on the end of it.
Hilarious. That's adorable.
That's how I named everything. It's efficient. There's a formula.
It keeps you organized.
That's right. They were probably alphabetical or color coordinated for size. Who knows? There was definitely an order to it, whatever it was.
I do not doubt that. Just knowing who you are and how you work, which is very impressive. I get that.
So I'm a Judy. Are you a Judy or a Jenn?
One other thing you forgot that I thought was so great between the exchange between Judy and Steve is when he called her Pony Boy.
Wait, when was that? Remind me of that.
When they were taking apart the car. And he's like, okay, Pony Boy. Because she was like, he was going to leave. And she said, no, I'm going to finish this. I have to finish this. And he goes, okay, Pony Boy. And I knew I didn't want to call you up and ask you. So I Googled, Urban Dictionary, Pony Boy. And it's like I think a gay guy reference.
Okay.
And it just seems so out of it just didn't fit, like why he would call her Pony Boy. And I forgot the meaning. So hopefully I won't call anybody, hey, Pony Boy, what's happening? You don't remember?
Why did that remind you of me?
Because you were talking about stuffed animals, and I wanted to bring it up when you brought up you use this as an example, highlighting why you were more Judy than Jenn this week.
I brought up Pony Boy?
No, I wanted to bring up Pony Boy.
Oh, okay, but I've never heard of that phrase. I have no idea what it means.
So you don't remember hearing it in the episode?
No.
Oh, that's wild. Okay.
Probably my brain was just like, that feels irrelevant to us. I have no idea what that is. So
it was just weird. It was so random and like and disconnected.
But to that end though, that would be another thing I would resonate with Judy with, when she just had to get it done today. She's like, no more putting it off. I'm losing sleep over this shit. We have to just get it done. She was under the wire again with the whole everything hitting the fan. Everyone is on their edge at this point, and so there's no more time for bullshitting around. Like, you have to
right.
We have to hide our tracks of this murder. Like, what are we doing?
Right. It's like the tsunami is coming. We saw the warning. We didn't heed the warning. And if we don't run and skedaddle, we are going to be sucked out and drowned in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
So I felt like a Jenn. And it really mirrored where I was. You know, I've had the weight of the world on my shoulders for the last 3 weeks, 3 years. My mother, my father, my uncle, my husband getting major surgery, you know, trying to manage everything, having my life force sucked out, not taking care of myself, eating, staying up late, just procrastinating. So much stuff has fallen through the cracks. Like, I saw it and it's like I couldn't even catch anything. And I've never been this way. And when Jenn went into the police station and she said she wanted to see the pictures, she's like, no, I can handle it. And the policewoman or the detective was like, are you sure? She's like, yes, because I am so like bullheaded, and yes, I can handle it. I'm a warrior princess. And seeing her husband as roadkill, just ignited this flood of, and her having the panic attack, showing the house and calling the woman, a vapid twat. I was like, oh my God. And it happened yesterday. We finally, we got this amazing hotel on Points. It's on the Long Island Sound. It's 4 stars. And the guy said, did you bring your beach chairs? And I was like, I'm from New York City. I don't travel with beach chairs. Why? And he goes, well, you have to get there at like 6:30 in the morning and put towels out because there aren't enough beach chairs. And I took everything. I was like, this is a 4-star hotel. But you don't have enough beach chairs. This hotel retails for over $400. What the fuck? What do you mean you don't have enough beach chairs? I had to go in to the room. I picked up towels and I was screaming like into the towels. I have never gotten that bad. And then I ate an edible. It was because I just had to, take myself down, and I didn't realize it was 4 servings. And I'm a lightweight anyway. I ate all of them, and I was seeing Tinkerbell. I was talking to dead relatives. My husband wanted to take me to the hospital. I mean,
did you get any answers from the relatives?
I was like wired for sound. If they talk to me, I'd be like, you don't want to listen to somebody's advice.
Yeah.
That's how I was.
To your ancestors?
Yeah, I was just, honestly, I saw like Father Time. I thought it was like my time. I was going to die. When I tell you, I never tripped on acid or mushrooms. It was crazy. Yeah,
the edibles can get you. They can get you. And then there's no getting off the ride, by the way.
Oh no.
You're on it till it's done. And
I had the unlimited ride bracelet on.
Yes. Wait, it reminds me of, okay, this is a shout out to your man, Cuomo. At the very beginning of the pandemic, one of my favorite clips of him is at the very beginning. He said, this is going to be exactly this long. We just don't know how long this represents, but I'm telling you, it's going to be exactly this long. It starts here and then it's going to end here. It's exactly this long. It's exactly this long. I was just like,
Brilliant.
that is so brilliant and frustrating, right? He's like, I get that it's frustrating to not know what this
Right.
represents. Is this in hours? Like, what is, there's no timetable, so you can't read the graph. And that's where you were last night. It's like, I don't know how long, how deep, how far.
No, and I tried calling you, and I'm assuming, I was like, oh no, I think she's tuning into my, like, I am off to the races. But back to the Governor Cuomo, who, if I was to fantasize about somebody, it would be fantasizing about Grandpa. Now, what was this referring to? Because my mind is in the gutter. Was this COVID or
Right. This
his
was
manhood?
how long the pandemic's gonna last.
Yeah, I didn't, that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah. I feel if he wanted to make it an innuendo, he would have made it a bigger example. He kept it
Like
pretty.
this?
Yeah, he kept it pretty tight for his example. But yes, it was the length of the pandemic.
Yeah, but your initially was like this. It wasn't like that. So
All right.
that's
Well,
why.
it was. I don't know.
Okay.
This is your fantasy, not mine, even a little. Even
Okay.
a little. If
Mm.
she says, if I were to fantasize.
I know you're not into old dudes, and it pains me to think, he's an old dude. I've crossed over. That's
an old dude. Yeah.
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 Well, thank God for Grandma's toenail.
Gross. Okay, so with feeling aligned with Jenn and her blowing up and feeling like she's, it was like last episode was her kid's turn to kind of blow up and show, I don't got it. I don't got it, not even a little. And even within that, I think Jenn was still convincing herself, okay, my children don't have it, nothing in my life, but I've still got it. I can handle it. And then she sees those images.
Yep.
And do you think those images do you think it was because it made it so real? Or for the first time, she actually felt something?
I think
that thing was able to pierce this incredibly thick skin she's had.
Well, my analogy is ripping the Band-Aid off the scab, and it just, it's like she couldn't keep it down anymore. And then her best friend, who she relied on, and, just said, I can't do this anymore. It was heartbreaking, because here she thought she was protecting him, and he was suffering from her, and maybe not addressing it. And, it was affecting him. And then the impact of seeing her husband and losing her best friend, I think just, it was devastating. I mean, it's a loss on so many levels. And I don't, she just couldn't keep it together anymore. And then not being able to get Judy, who she's relied on, and having her not pick up when she was in crisis mode. I've been there, and it's you just feel like you're drowning, like there's no one throwing you a life preserver, and it's heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. But she survives all of it, and I think by the end of the episode, she's starting to almost just say, okay, so where do I need to have more protection? Why was I so reliant on Judy, who she knows she can't actually rely on? Like, Judy's always flying off doing Judy, right? And right. I think she's just really having that space of, I thought I had it when I don't.
Yeah.
But she is somebody that's like, so I'm going to figure it out now.
Right. And again, it's also a metaphor for where we are right now. It's, masks, no masks, right, hospital beds, ventilators, da 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 da. Is this going to go on? How is this going to disrupt our life?
It's gonna go on for this long, Marla.
I think it's okay. It just feels like it's that times 10.
So your key would be smaller. Your key would,
I would like to be able to see if this is swimming and I was stuck out in the Long Island Sound and I'm swimming and swimming and swimming and just went, I want to be able to see land. I want to be able to see, it's just the way I'm wired. How about you?
I know. I think that is the hardest part about all of this. And it's the way that my boyfriend would always ground his daughter and punish her. He wouldn't give the time that she was off punishment. He's like, you're not off punishment because of the time, you're off punishment when your actions change. He goes, so you're done as soon as you show me you're done. And I watched it just like, it was, she would get so frustrated because if you tell her these are the parameters, she'll hit them, right? She's like, fine, no problem. Tell me the lane and I'm there. But he left it so like blurred line. It drove her nuts. But now I'm seeing like, oh, this is that muscle right now where our actions are a direct effect of how long this punishment lasts. So how long? You tell me. How long? You tell me. And that's where, as the class project, we're looking around and being like, there's 5 people out in the hall that won't come in and do their work. The rest of us are done. Been done since April. Like, I don't understand how any of this is supposed to work.
No way. So basically what you're saying is she would do something and say she got grounded. She would just be like, am I grounded for a week or 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would lose it.
I
would. How would you deal with that?
That was at a time when we weren't living together. So I would just leave for long periods of time. I was only here on the weekends when he lived with his daughter because I had no interest in having a teenage roommate. But yeah, I'd be like, oh, well, this is fun. I was a teenage girl once already. So I'm actually good on all of this. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the kind of partner I am with that stuff. I was like, good luck, babe. But he's, for those of you who don't know Rock, his name is very apropos in the sense that he is so damn solid. He's not swayed by any sort of popular opinion or groupthink or anything. So the anger that he got from his daughter, he would just sit in it. He would just sit in it and take it. And I'd be there like, this is very emotional.
Stop it. Let her go.
Just let her go. Give us the time frame.
Like, I need to know. I'm walking on eggshells.
Right.
That's, you know what? I think he invented marches to the beat of his own drummer. He is like a drumming circle of, that like Christo, when he did all the, the art installations of these flags that would go on forever. That's how I think of Rock.
What is that?
Christo, he would put up these huge installations like in Central Park, the red flags.
Oh, yeah. Did he have one in Oculus as well?
Possibly. I feel like I have stuff sticking out of my nose and you don't see anything, do you?
No.
I'm like, oh, thank God. Because my nephew, he'll write to me and say, great episode, really funny. He's like, I saw your boogers.
Oh, he's just messing with you. He's just your nephew. That's you getting your own medicine. So good on you, nephew. Keep it up.
Yep, payback.
You know what? Actually, that little thing that we just talked about right there, I would say that's also my ageless advice. That's what I learned from witnessing my boyfriend, punish and help his daughter kind of be in discomfort and be in the unknown. I don't know that I've seen it done so harshly.
That's
So directly,
yeah.
but I will tell you that she is going to be 17 in September now, and she is one of the most. I consider myself to know myself pretty well, but that's at 35. She knows herself at almost, I feel like, the level. Now, there's probably ways I'm projecting that onto her, and she's having her own experience being like,
Right.
I question everything. But from the outside, she is one of the most secure, confident people. And I think a lot of it has to do with she doesn't have to know in order to be comfortable. Like, she really did embody that lesson. It's very odd, it's very strange, it's very unique, and I like it. So that's my ageless advice.
First of all, that's incredible. I mean, to have that kind of awareness at 17 and be comfortable with it, because everybody wants to know what the end game is. I mean, we are taught, programmed. I think it's part of the human condition to be that way, but just to, sit in it. But then again, that's what mindfulness is all about. It's
Right.
just being in the moment. Deepak, and then who's that other guy, the German guy? We have to be in the moment.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
him?
yeah.
He wrote the book, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, did you read the book?" And then I listened to the audio tape, and I was like, "Oh my God." And that's it. I was like, "Oh my God, I feel like, is this what the Jews felt like?" Because it's always about the Jews, and we go back to the Holocaust kind of thing. So I was like, you go left, you go right, you go left, you go right, you breathe, you say, "Oh."
He has like a magical gnome energy to him. Like, he came from like tree people or something. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, and he would eat a muffin like.
Yes. Yeah. So
I
it's
get
all
that.
about, the Buddha life. I tell Rock his nickname is Buddhalicious, because he is
Absolutely.
just, it's just about the now, babe. I'm like, you know what? Okay. But also he has to like plan really, like, he's also a Virgo. So
Say no more.
is all
I
I'm
live with
saying.
a Virgo. But one thing, I love Rock's energy. Boy, he is like, he's like the caricature of, I don't know, it's Prudential, where you see somebody and they just land on the rock and they stake out and they just stand there. He's like a superhero. He just stands there and he goes, "I am here to represent." And I could give two shits what you think. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yes. I think that if he were animated, he would be a porcupine.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
people are unsure when approaching. They're like, what is this? And just because the quills are down right now doesn't mean they're going to stay down. So how close can I get? How soon? And I think
You
he
know
likes.
what? Absolutely. But you know what he also reminds me of is a cactus. And the Israelis have a word to describe someone like that. And that pretty much is sabra. And it means cactus, where you're hard, you got the prickly needles,
Mhm.
but then you're soft and sweet on the inside.
There you go.
Yes. So my ageless advice, which really came to me, was I like me, and I hope you like me. But if you don't like me, I don't like myself any less.
Hey, I love that. Love
And
that. Where'd that come from?
I was just, I reached out to somebody because I was really concerned. My mother, she has pancreatic cancer, 3 years, doing really well, had a recurrence. And then she had a couple of bad nights last week. And she was talking as if it was the end. And the thought of losing my mother, it broke my heart. And right before we got word, and that it was just an infection. And I spoke to this amazing counselor with Duke Cancer Center, and she talked me off a ledge, and that's what
Nice.
she said. She just gave me that, and it's going in, the book, and it says a lot. but you know what? It also mirrors me being a kid, because when I got bullied, I remember my older friend who took me under her wing said, you know what? This is what you got to say to yourself. I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off to me and sticks to fucking you. Isn't that great?
When said in the accent, it feels really true.
Yes. Yes. It just was like, I'm rubber, you're glue, and whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to fucking you.
And with that, kids, stick that in your pipe.
And no, wait, and don't smoke it. Eat it. Eating is better.
Eat it, vape it. Listen, it's not a great season for smoking during the Cove. It's just not.
No.
Link in the description of this video to check out the YouTube channel. Follow Ageless Adventures on Instagram. Same time, same place next week. We love you.
We love you. Thank you. Mwah. Stay